should walk out of here with a lot of gold nuggets and be able to take your business to the next level with all the tips and techniques that you're going to get from our expert speakers this afternoon. My name is Jenny Bell. I'm the MC this afternoon, and I'm also the Partner Development Manager at Outcomes Business Group. I love my job. My job is to manage the partner network and to find great suppliers that can be the best in the industry. Outcomes Business Group, so we run these events, these business events, and we're committed to providing you with high caliber presenters and speakers that can inspire and accelerate your businesses with current, relevant and easy to implement business strategies. Now, just to go through the agenda this afternoon. We've got our first two speakers coming up shortly, which will take about the next hour. Then we'll have a 20-minute networking break, and then that will be followed by our third speaker. Following on from that, we've got a fabulous segment called Hot Seat, but Eddie Maguire will not be here. Sorry to disappoint you if that would be a disappointment. And with that Hot Seat segment, we're going to give you the opportunity to come to us in the break, anyone that's interested, and do a live case study so you can really get the input from the experts here today to look at a marketing strategy that you can put in place to have your particular business grow. So please come up and let yourselves be known to us in the break. Hopefully we won't get flooded by everyone, and hopefully you'll have the courage to come up, and so that we don't have everyone sitting back fearful. After that, then we will be finishing at 5 o'clock, and there'll be a little bit more chance for networking before then. Now, housekeeping, I think you've probably passed the Mr. David Guest, who is the founder and director of Outcomes Business Group. David has been mentoring, inspiring and empowering businesses for over 15 years. He's a multi-award winning coach, and he's going to be speaking this afternoon on the secrets to social selling and how to convert online leads into customers. So could you please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Mr. David Guest.
Hello. Oh, you can hear me. Who loves secrets? Anybody? Let me ask you a better question. Who would like to learn something today? Can I just get a show of hands? Okay, there's a few people that are live. I know it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I know that we need to keep your tempo up, so I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. For those who's been to one of my presentations before, can I just get a show of hands? About half the room. Okay, those who haven't, well, welcome. Let me just start by asking, who runs their own business in this room? Who runs their own business? Hi, can I just see your hands up? Hi, okay. Who works for somebody else? About those who run their own business but wish they worked for somebody else, any of those? See, so I suppose a little bit about myself. Well, before I even start about myself, debunking the online marketing myth. Now, we use these words because I think there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace. I've been teaching people how to build and grow their businesses for the past 15 years. And social media didn't exist when we started. Social media was go out and network. And then all of a sudden these social media channels opened, and I think they've created more confusion than anything. Who's a bit confused by social media? Anyone in this room? There's a few people. I am. My kids Snapchat me things, and I go, hang on, how do I see that? You've got 6 seconds, Dad. Watch it fast. It's like, okay. So attention spans are shrinking. So we're going to talk a bit about how we debunk the online marketing myth. We have 3 presenters, as Jenny mentioned. My segment is really about the secret to social selling. Now, as soon as I put this post up on LinkedIn, the first person that responded to it said, I hate the term social selling. Who hates the word sales? I don't know, only one person, 2 people. See, most people, they don't like the word selling. Why don't we like the word selling? Why? Fear of rejection. Who likes being sold to in this room? Anybody? Who likes buying stuff? Anybody? See, there's a totally different perspective on the same thing, right? Most people don't like being sold to, but they love to be helped to buy. So when we talk about social selling, I'm not talking about getting online and spamming people to death. I'm talking about actually getting traction when you're working through the social channels. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But just for those who haven't met me before, for about 10 years, and so I love sales, and I'm not sure why, but I think because when I first started selling, my father-in-law at the time said, "David, you'll never be any good at it." Anyone have had a motivational speech like that? Right? He said, "You're the sort of guy that works with your hands and not with your head. And so you'll never be able to sell anything." And I had the comment, and I've heard it from other people, is if I believe in my product, I won't have a problem selling it. Who agrees with that? If I believe in my product. See, once we believe in our own product, it's not selling anymore. What is it? It's evangelizing. It's actually helping people understand what your product can do. So it's not selling anymore. Now, that was nearly 25 years ago when I got that speech, and it's as relevant today as it was 25 years ago. Because social media is being attacked by people trying to sell you stuff. And stuff you don't want. Or you don't even know what it is most of the time, but they're out there just throwing these information at you. Would that be fair to say? So let's talk about how we get rid of a bit of that. Interesting statistics. We know that 73.4% of statistics are made up on the spot.
I'll just get one.
Okay, we want to get this thing started, so if you could quickly make your way back to your seats.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone's energy levels?
Good. Good.
Okay, it's pretty good actually after the break. I've got 20 minutes as well. I tend to have a lot of content to jam into that sort of time level because we generally do like half-day training programs where it's very outcome focused. So I just wanted to start really by getting an idea from the audience what you wanted to get out of today. So I'm just going to give you like a few options and raise your hand if the option applies to you. Who's here because they want to build a brand online? Okay. Who's here because they're looking for a job? Who's here because they're looking to recruit people for a job? Who's here to get more customers? Yes. Okay. That's the area which I know the most about, so that's spot on. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say is just really the premises for what I'm going to talk about is the old forms of marketing they don't work anymore. Like actually business has changed completely since social media has come about. A lot of people think it's just a marketing thing, but it's actually a business thing. No longer are you defining your brand, it's your customers, because people are doing their research on the internet. And so why are people using social media as opposed to going to things like a static website? Social proof, spot on. It's all very good me putting up a page on the internet and telling everybody how good I am at ninjutsu, but I could be making it up, right? Whereas if you go to my Facebook page and my LinkedIn page, and I've got all these recommendations, testimonials, videos, etc., it makes a big difference. So the companies that are going to benefit from the social selling or social media revolution are the ones that find ways to provide more value with integrity. Does that make sense? So it's not about getting anymore, it's about giving. I think David really covered off this really well. But if you use that sort of general rule of thumb when you think about any areas of your marketing, you should do all right. This is probably the guy I look up to the most in terms of business mentors. Does anybody know this guy's name, by the way? Okay, so he's got the most followers on LinkedIn. They call him like the million follower man or something. So there's 400 million members on LinkedIn globally. There's 7.5 million members approximately in Australia. How many followers do you think Richard Branson has on LinkedIn? Who said 10 million? Nailed it. That's exactly right. It's about 10.5 million or thereabouts. Okay, so the person with the second most amount of followers on LinkedIn is Barack Obama. Guess how many he has?
7.
5 million. So Richard Branson's got double the next person, which is Barack Obama, the president of the United States. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory as to why. But Richard Branson has a very well-defined brand. And his brand is basically just be more of yourself and not try to be something that you're not. And he's all about giving value. Okay, so if you haven't worked out what your brand is yet, and you're looking for inspiration from other people who have defined their brand in your industry, then you're doing it the wrong way. You need to look at what's different about you, what's unique about you. Because you look at all of successful business people throughout time, or successful people in any area, the only thing that they have in common is they've got nothing in common. They're just more of themselves, most people. So they have this larger-than-life persona. So it's very important. Like when you look at a LinkedIn profile, obviously the biggest mistake I see is that people upload versions of their CVs, which, you know, if you're looking for more clients, it's the most boring thing you could possibly hand them to, is just try and sell yourself, right? So it's more about defining what it is that's different, but also why you do what you do. Why you're passionate about what you do, because if that passion comes through to the client, then you'll connect with them and they'll want to engage with you. Okay, so does anyone attend the webinar last week? We did it all? Okay, cool. I just really wanted to recap on a couple of points we mentioned in the webinar quickly, and then I'm going to move on to the other stuff. 65% of business-to-business companies have generated leads via LinkedIn. Okay, and I shared on the webinar 4 keys to basically get your profile to the top of Google and LinkedIn within 15 minutes. So just to recap on what those were for those who missed it. Mark Zuckerberg, the biggest risk is not to. Do you think it's possible that they might be doing the same to you?
Yes.
Okay, so has anyone Googled their own name? See what comes up? Okay, cool. Did you like what you found? It's important to control what they see. And the quickest way to get your piece of content to the top of Google, correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, would be like through a social media page, like LinkedIn. Because they've got all this kudos with Google already, it's very easy for us to get to, like a profile to the top, of the search results. So you want to customize the URL, because that's something that Google will look at. It will look at the web address and whether or not it has those keywords in it. Your headline, which is what people see in the search results generally. Okay, so most people's headline will be their job. So it'll be like account manager, business director, managing director, CEO and founder and principal, And they wonder why they get a lot of messages on LinkedIn about people trying to sell them stuff or offer them jobs, because those are the sort of terms that those people who are selling and people that are offering jobs will be looking for. However, if your clients are looking on LinkedIn, they're probably going to be looking for different kind of keywords. It won't necessarily be a job title. So you want to have keywords in your headline that your clients might be looking for, because we go back one more step. People are using LinkedIn as a search engine. Okay, so put this in the context of what David does. Like if I was looking for a business coach, I could go onto Google and look at all the ads and try and get through all the noise, find a phone number and make cold call to find a business coach. Or I could see who I know in my existing network that does coaching. And that's where it's important that if David's not ranking number 1, he is, by the way, but if he wasn't, he may miss out. And the client is really warm because he's already within the sphere of influence. The same goes with your experience header. So like the title of your job, put keywords in there. You'll notice if you go on my profile, I think I may even have a screenshot of it somewhere in here. that I've got multiple terms. So like if you could have business coach, business mentor, business advisor, all these different variations of what people might search for. And then add connections. So if you do those 4 things, like 80, 90% of the time, you'll be ranked #1 in your network for the keywords that you choose to target. So that's how easy it is. The reason I say add connections is because you're always going to see your first connections first. Does that make sense? So very quick way to get more visibility is to have more connections. I normally get people saying to me, well, should we just add anyone? Of course not. No, they need to be within your target market or, you know, 1 degree of separation from your target market. So when you get a connection request, ask yourself, is this person likely to be connected with who I'm targeting? If the answer is no, then you're really just diluting your network. There's a couple of things, misconceptions actually, that I get. I've got a response from an email that went out from our database to our database recently about profile optimization, and it said, I'll try to remember it correctly. Why would I need to optimize my profile? I have 5,000 connections already, and I'm within the top 2% most viewed profiles within my network. Okay, that's what the email said, right? And here's my problem with that: 5,000 connections, and you know how many views you're getting on your profile within your network, to me are not really relevant success measures, because you could have 5,000 connections of people that are never going to buy from you in the first place, so it's a pointless exercise. And if you're getting more views on your profile than everyone else in your network, then you need to get a better network. Like you need to build your network with people that are actually getting looked at, you know, in the business community. If you think about it, like if I'm connected to Richard Branson and Barack Obama, are they going to be getting more or less views on their profile than me? So it's a good indication how good your network is if you're moving like down the most viewed profiles. Okay? So like it's not really a very accurate description of, you know, how successful you are. Talk a little bit about this is what I was saying about marketing, because I don't actually think that LinkedIn's going to be as easy to use the lead generation like in a year or 2 as it is now. Keep in mind that the platform was built for recruiters, and nowadays it's one of the most effective tools for business-to-business selling and lead generation out there. So LinkedIn's constantly trying to innovate to find ways to make money off this market, this huge market that we've got on their platform. And so eventually it'll mean that it's not going to be as easy to connect with people that are in your target market that you don't necessarily know. Whereas at the moment you can build your social database huge, like really quickly, and it doesn't cost you anything. So I think it's a good opportunity for us to do that now, and then you can see as the results go down as other people catch on. This is just some statistics. I'll sort of throw these in there randomly just to in case there's any like people that doubt that LinkedIn's a place for them to be marketing, and it's not right for everyone, don't get me wrong, but like these are the stats. So sales professionals who use LinkedIn for social selling are 51% more likely to exceed their quota than sales professionals who don't use LinkedIn for social selling. So, but basically, like all the old systems that you should use for building a network are great, but this can it's got so much leverage.
What do you mean by social selling?
Social selling.
Yeah.
Look, what it means to me is selling in a way that adds value. So it's just basically going to somebody and providing value without asking anything in return. That's the way I look at social selling. It's a new form and a new psychology of selling. Some people would say that it's selling on social media, but I think with what I do and a lot of the clients I work with, I don't sell on social media. I just use that to start a conversation. I still pick up the telephone and call someone. That doesn't change. But normally it's because we've corresponded on LinkedIn first. And so it's not a cold call, it's a warm call. But yeah, look, it means different things to different people, but if you try to use LinkedIn to sell in the old way, which is basically like close, like with the car yard example, for example, just one way, you won't get the results. And those people generally blame things outside of themselves, so they'll say, well, LinkedIn doesn't work, that's a waste of time. All right, and this is also a case study, because I thought, like, in this short period of time, it's better just to give you like an example of a campaign that we've run, so that you can go and do the same thing in your own business if you want. So this is a client of ours. They do video marketing called We Are Video, and we just used like a 4-step strategy to build leads for them, where we looked at their brand, which in this case was literally just a LinkedIn profile for the managing director. We built their network, then we engaged their network in a conversation, and then we nurtured that network. I was wondering whether that would work.
Is that their managing director? I'm going to get boiled.
It's worth it, guys. Come in, then I'll tell you how we did it.
The Bibby team took the outline guidance through the process step by step to find adjustments to our strategy stage to engage generators the best return on investment. After doing research, it became quite evident and we look forward to growing our business area to help optimise the profile. If anyone's looking to outsource their lead generation designed specifically for us to generate leads for our business in the key sectors that we were wanting to grow in. Within the first round of engagement messages, we had over 100 leads and almost doubled our sales revenue. The Bibby team took the effort to guide us through the process step by step and made adjustments to our strategy to ensure that we generated the best return on investment possible. This is just the beginning, and we look forward to growing our business further with Bibby's lead generation system. If anyone's looking to outsource their lead generation to a company that stays ahead of the curve with the latest in social media,
That works perfectly. I just wanted you to hear it from her, not from me, that they got 100 leads and doubled their sales revenue in 30 days. So, like, that's the result that we got, and I'll go through how to do it. So they're a video marketing company, okay? So, like, they put together a professional video for us. I didn't ask them to, and send that to us, which was really, I really appreciate that, but like, it's probably genuine, I would have been alright as well. Alright, so this is how we did it. Okay, so has anyone first of all used the advanced search feature on LinkedIn at all? So not just the normal bar at the top, but where you can actually put in specific details about what that person's job title and industry are. James at the back, yeah, okay, a few of you. So if you haven't used it before, next time you go onto LinkedIn, next to the search bar at the top, there's a button that says Advanced. When you click on that, you'll see what's possible in terms of the search criteria that you can put in. It's quite detailed, and that's where we generally start all campaigns when we're looking for a market. And like, so on the side there, you can see.
Well, yeah, like if you've never met with the person who searched and someone wants to connect.
Yep.
Are you not just simply arriving in their inbox out the blue and?
Yeah, it's the same thing as picking up a telephone and calling them, I guess. LinkedIn say that you shouldn't connect with people you don't know, yet they have products which message people you don't know. So, question?
I've had the experience where I've requested a connection. I've got a message back from LinkedIn basically saying, prove that you know this person. What is their email address?
Yeah. You want to know the way around that, don't you?
As the person that I requested, I did know their email address, but I'm wondering why that doesn't come up more often as a block to your strategy of making lots of connections.
There's a couple of things that we could do to work around it, but generally, like just to start with, at a basic level, if you put that your reason for knowing them is friend, then they won't ask you for an email address. So it's only when you say you work together or you were a client of theirs or whatever that it'll ask for that level of detail at the moment. If you're getting, if you're asking you for an email address when you've selected friend, then it's probably because you've added too many people that have said, no, I don't know this person, and you've been blocked, which can be very easily alleviated. So don't stress out if you have been, you just need to email LinkedIn. I have been blocked 5 or 6 times, I've lost count, so it does happen. I've got to know where the limits are, otherwise, I'll get my clients in trouble.
So just a quick follow-up.
Yeah.
When you send out the connections, do you specify friend, colleague, other, or do you?
Friend.
So
Yeah.
even though they're not a friend, you're saying friend. Do they see friend in the message that they get?
No. So it's not actually going to make everyone who receives that connection request happy. There's going to be people that are going to be like, who's this guy? I think he is sending me a connection request. I've never met him before. But it's a numbers game. If you send 100 of those connection requests, on average, and this is based on a wide variety of industries that we've worked with over the last couple of years running these campaigns, half will accept. That's just the average. If you've got a particularly good profile, it'll be higher. So I guess what you're doing is you're eliminating the people that are not your potential clients really quickly and focusing on the ones that are.
Can I just ask a quick?
Sure.
The advanced search, I think that's only for premium members, is that right?
Sorry.
The advanced search, I think that's only for premium members.
The question was, advanced search is only for premium members. It's available for everyone. It's just there's some criteria that's only available for premium members, which most campaigns we don't even need. Okay, so we're going to have to keep moving. This is very important to understand. Like, this is how LinkedIn works in terms of visibility. So you can see in the first row there, you've got your first connections, and then second connections and third connections when you become a premium member and so on. So the value is not necessarily in the first connection. Yes, it's great to have a database of all of your people on your network, and they'd probably like to see content posted by you on LinkedIn rather than bombarding their inbox. We find it a lot more effective in terms of getting in front of them. It's a lot easier to sell to people that want to be sold to and market to people that want to be marketed to. But the value is in these third connections. Because essentially what you can do on LinkedIn is look at somebody's profile and see who they're connected with. So it's almost like you can go on and check out their whole customer database. They're in business to business as well. I could look on David's LinkedIn profile and see who he's connected to. And if there's somebody in there that meets the criteria of my target demographic, I could ask David to make an introduction for me. So that's really where the value is. A lot of people are still coming to meetings going, oh, can I have a couple of referrals because I've been doing a good job, blah, blah, blah. But these days you can actually go to that person with a specific name of who you'd like to be introduced to, because you can see all this stuff. If you haven't taken the time to, if you're in a high value sales situation and you've gone to a meeting without looking at somebody's LinkedIn profile first, people kind of expect you to know a little bit about them at that level. So if you can mention things like people you know in common or common interests, or you're both members of certain groups, then it helps to build rapport. So what's it enabling you to do is shorten the sales cycle. So the amount of time that you spend in a sales meeting should be a lot shorter than what it used to be, because a lot of it's done online. Okay, so when I talk about defining what your brand is, this is the sort of thing that the process that you should be going through. I know it's a lot to digest, so if it's okay with David, I'll send out the slides as a PDF afterwards. But essentially, you want to look at what your values are, what's your passion, what's your purpose, and then look at unique selling proposition that stands for. Sorry, I hate jargon. What's different, authority, value, and so on. So you'll all get a copy of that, and just work through it, take your time and make sure that's well defined. I just wanted to show a little bit about how to structure your LinkedIn profile. We've talked about headlines and things like that and URLs. There's on the right here, so if I'm on your right, is the experience section where you have your job experience. So if you're in a sales position or you deal with clients, client facing, that can be about the company. Okay, so it doesn't have to be about your role within the organisation and all of your results. It can be about the business and what the business does and provides value in. In terms of past experience, you only want to put the stuff up there that's relevant. If it's not relevant, it'll just dilute the amount of relevant content you have, and if it is relevant, then it'll have keywords in there. So LinkedIn's still very much like what Google was 10 years ago. In terms of search engine optimization, you can mention a keyword 100 times, and yes, you will rank for that keyword. That's how immature the search engine is, but it will evolve. So you kind of want to do it with integrity in order for a long-term success. Add publications and things like that. So if you can beef out the content with keywords in it, then it's common sense that you're going to be ranking better for that content. So the summary on the other side is where you have the opportunity to talk about yourself as an individual as opposed to the business. So who are you, why do you do what you do? And you want to be able to show whoever's reading it within 2 sentences what you do exactly and why. So the wrong way to do your summary is to write in third person. Another wrong way to do it is to say, I started my career in 2001, and then I da-da-da, and then I changed my life, and da-da. And so it's like one big story. Because if people are looking for a quick outcome, it almost needs to be like a landing page on a website. Most people won't bother reading it. Like they'll read the first sentence of your summary, the call to action, and maybe a couple of bullet points in between. So just bear that in mind. Recommendations are the most underutilized area of a LinkedIn profile. Can't stress this enough. I did a talk for the Westpac youth group or something like that. They were all under 30s, and it was two or 300 people in the room. And I asked them to put their hands up if they had a recommendation on their LinkedIn profile. I had like 6 people put their hand up. There was like one person who had more than 2 recommendations on their LinkedIn profile. So how easy is it to stand out from the crowd? All these guys under 30 working in banking don't have recommendations. It's a very easy way to make yourself look different. So you've got to think about it like, okay, so if a client was looking at my LinkedIn profile and was looking at my competitor's LinkedIn profile, you know, which one's it going to choose if everything else being equal? This is a very easy way for you to stand out. Yeah. So this is a statistic that I read in a LinkedIn research document. It says 90% plus of decision makers don't respond to cold outreach. So who still answers the telephone when they get calls from like timeshare companies or people trying to sell you stuff you haven't asked them to sell you? Do you still get those calls? Do you manage to ignore them now? Do you pick up private numbers?
Lots of SEO calls.
Lots of SEO calls, yeah. Yeah, and so how do those calls, have you ever bought anything off any of those people?
No.
Okay, so we know what doesn't work. So on LinkedIn, there are a lot of companies that are moving in to do similar to what those SEO calls sound like with LinkedIn messaging, and they'll actually use spiders to automate these messages that sent out to everyone who hasn't asked for any advice on SEOs, telling them that they can get into the top of Google or whatever it is. And the same sort of statistics apply. It doesn't make a difference if you do it on LinkedIn or you do it on the telephone. So the key is to, as I said before, add value with integrity. So it's about building a network. And if you're targeting people that know somebody that you know, first of all, you have something in common. And there's going to be a degree of trust there because you've got connections in common. And so what happens is that as you build that network, there's more and more people in your target audience that are going to have that sort of rapport with you. And when we send messages on LinkedIn to prospects, do you think we tell them all of those things that we put up there about your brand, your unique selling propositions, what's different, all that kind of stuff? No, why not? That's a good point, yeah. Yeah, it is about them, you're right. So you don't want to like assume a need. If somebody hasn't told you that they're interested or they need something, you can't tell them about what you do. As a general rule, you only want to tell people about what they already know. Get kicked off. I've been avoiding. Okay. You can only tell people what they already know or they already want to know. Otherwise, you're not going to get a response. So the idea is to write a message to somebody without saying anything about yourself. That's the key. Like that's the most effective way of the first touch point. And so you might say, I've had a look at your profile and I'm interested in learning more about your business, because there's some similarities between your business and the customers we work with. Are you free for a telephone call next week? So I move the conversation off of social media as fast as possible. As soon as you get them onto a telephone call, that's like a warm lead, and multi-channel marketing works extremely well. I'm going to make sure that I get to the end because this is key. This is the results that we achieved, over 100 leads for this particular company. So we sent 800 connection requests and 502 of them accepted, and we sent them all a brief message similar to the one I just described, and we got 104 leads. That's just in 1 month, like just 30 days. So this continued, and then what we do after 3 months of engagement is we start re-engaging with these people again, and the results improve further. So I've got an offer for today as part of being here, so I want to make sure that I'll give you that if you want to take your LinkedIn education further. So the way to do it is through LinkedIn Insider. It's an online training program that we built. It's got 8 training modules. And it goes through from profile optimization all the way to social proof, and talks about messaging, how to connect, what scripts to use, all that kind of stuff. So for those of you that do want to take it further, like we've got it for $97, it's normally $597, and if you complete the form that James has at the back, then you'll be able to get that offer. If it's not done today, or then it will just be $597 as per normal. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
James is a handsome man down the back there who works with us. He's got his hand high in the sky at the moment. And almost forgot to mention that the first 15 people, I say 15 because that's literally how many I can fit into my schedule over the next couple of months. They'll get a complimentary LinkedIn profile review with me personally. So like what I'll do is I'll call you up, I'll share my computer screen with you, and we'll go through your profile just like I would with a client. It'll take 15 or 20 minutes, and I'll just go through all of the points that I would say can be improved. Yeah, question?
And just asking about the standard free service that LinkedIn offer versus the subscription service that
Yeah.
sort of $50 a month or whatever it is. I imagine there's varying versions of it too. But what is your comment about its usability and suitability as a core product versus jumping into the add-on?
Business Plus is what we use for our clients, but until you start generating leads, you don't need it. Like it's only when you reach capacity in terms of number of profiles you're looking at, and that's it. I have to show my man's quote at the end, and then I'm done. So this is what he said to LinkedIn when he was interviewed about how he got to the top and all that sort of stuff, and he's just sort of applying the same principles throughout his business. Thanks very much. You've been a great audience. Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you.
On each page, but
Yep.
that's as far as I'll go.
And it's in WordPress?
Yes.
Okay. When your site was built, was there any thought to the rankings that you had before your new website?
My rankings were actually not too bad.
Where are they now?
I must admit, I probably haven't really looked, because if I Google it myself, because I've already looked at it, I need someone else to Google it, really.
Yes, you can go incognito,
Oh.
so that'll be completely unbiased from your previous searches. So if you're ego surfing, as I think David calls it, which is good. I recommend everybody ego surf all the time. And check your SEO posts and check your keywords, but do it incognito, or if you're in Safari or any other browser, it's private browsing. That's how you check. The reason I ask the question is quite often with a new website, there are some rankings, and they're about really about Google, mostly if there's not been no SEO done, Google guessing what your website's about. And so you will kind of rank by default somewhat. Google sort of tries to figure it out. When you do your new page, new website, it needs to be thought of where those rankings are, and you need to have your on-page SEO done, because obviously your content will have changed on each individual page. Every page, according to Google, has its own power. So you've got to think about the power of that page, and this has to be sort of thought up in the lead up. This is very much a hot seat, isn't it? And this is just stuff that really, unless you're an SEO person, you're not going to be thinking about. But you do have an opportunity to optimise what you've currently got there. And I would definitely recommend that.
Okay.
So, coming from a business perspective, the first thing I would look at is all of the free services that you can jump on, and that's things like Google My Business. You talked a bit about testimonials or referral-based marketing before, and I think both of the speakers touched on this as well, because most people don't chase getting people to recommend them online. So things like on your LinkedIn profile, you need people saying they've done work with you and their experience. I don't care if it's good or bad experience, you need that. If it's all good, it looks suspicious. If someone has bad experiences, as long as you address the problem, it's good, because that means you're responsive. So definitely get onto Google My Business and make sure that that site looks okay, because it's free and everyone's got access to it. Make sure that people are putting rankings on there. So how do you make sure people go to Google Plus and add reviews? Doing them on your own website's okay, but doing them on third-party websites is better. So if anyone's in a business where there's some sort of like high pages for traders, Zomato if you're a restaurant, all those sorts of things, you just need to make sure that reviews are going up there, good, bad, or indifferent, because conversations mean people are interacting. So that's what I'd add. Would LinkedIn work for this?
So who are the customers that you like to work with, like with personal training?
I do group outdoor personal training.
Okay, that's good. Is there any other profession that deals with your market that doesn't compete with you?
I only really have one competitor, and that's who I used to work for. So I actually had a franchise for 12 years before this, and then I went out on my own because I believed that I created a better product.
Yeah, so have you taken all of their customers yet?
No, that business that I had is actually closed down now. I did get a few of those customers, but
Well done.
yeah, I really need more that are in the local area that I'm in now because I've moved areas.
So that's the question that I would ask is who's already dealing with these people? And I would look at doing what David suggested and set up alliances with them. So if they're doing outdoor sports, they're probably interested in health and fitness. So perhaps, just as an example, look for nutritionists in your area, go and meet with them and say, hey, I've got clients, you've got clients, why don't we refer each other business and see how it goes? Take them out for a few wines or something, that normally helps.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we talk about network being your net worth. As you build your client base, and that doesn't have to be people that spend money with you, it's people that follow you. You now have an asset that you can trade. And the beauty of trading a database is you don't lose it when you trade it, you grow it. So every time your database grows, you can partner with people who are interested in getting access to that. And some people run a business purely on YouTube where they've got a channel. And all they do is they just put videos up there and they've got 300,000 followers and they make a living out of it without having any product. Because all they're doing is advertising to their followers. So anyone in this room can build followers, you just have to have something that people are interested in. So be prepared to share more information about what you do, take some short video footage, anything like that, just to get into the conversation with people as well. So I know they're quick tips and I know you didn't write anything down, so I hope you've got a great memory.
Yes.
But it's sort of just from my point of view, I look at things like that and people go, yeah, that sounds easy, but there's a lot of work. The truth of the matter is most of these things are fairly simple when you focus in on them, and anyone can do it. And if you're not good at doing it yourself, get a teenage kid.
Actually, I'll just share with you, actually, this is exactly how I met David years ago. When I first came to Melbourne, I was thinking about how I'm going to get more customers, or I thought, business coaches will have heaps of people that need online marketing. I thought, I'm going to get a partnership with the best business coach in Melbourne. So I hopped onto Google and I thought a good representation of how good they were was how high they ranked on Google for business coach, and David was at the top. And it wasn't easy. Like, he said, oh, you want to be one of my business partners? Obviously, familiar with the strategy. Sent me a long form I had to fill in. I had to give him 3 names and numbers of clients that he called to check me out. We probably became clients of his afterwards. And so, years ago, it was hard work, and it took a few months before David started to give me referrals and vice versa. But years on, we've got this relationship, we're doing this event today, and I've got a system in place where if I ask somebody when they come on board as a client, if they don't have a sales process and they don't, I insist that they speak to David because it's so important that if they don't close the deals we're giving them, they're not going to continue as a client, which is a waste of everyone's time. So it just goes to show the importance of partnerships.
Yeah. All right, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hope that's been useful. Give her a hand. I had another one on the list, which was Michelle from Liquid Lighting. You still around, Michelle? Okay. Next victim we're going to call. Yeah. Introduce yourself to everybody. Tell them who you are, what you do.
Hi, I'm Michelle Gontier from Liquid Lighting and Design in Moorabbin, and we're wanting to turn our business around and move away from the retail space because there's too much online competition, and promote our services are what we really do.
Who else is in retail in the room? I just need to get a sense. Okay. Is anyone else experiencing this competition thing that's occurring? Because it's the reason I sort of chose Michelle is because she's retail and she's in lighting. Lighting's a very established business. It's been around for a long time. And I think one of the issues retailers have is that they used to use the 4 Ps, right? One of the benefits of being a retailer is bricks and mortar. You've got a place people can go and check you out. But they're coming in with their smartphone. So they're going, oh yeah, I like that light. Click. Oh, where else can I get this?
In front of me.
In front of you. How do you feel when people do that in front of you? You want to smash their phone, right? And then you can have a phone repair service out the side. But I suppose the point is we can be upset about people doing this, or we can embrace it. And I think one of the things I look at is, well, I want them looking me up. I want them, if they search that product, they find me. Because if they're in the store and they see me and I'm ranking well, it just confirms they're in the right place. So it comes back to making sure that your products are online, you're up front talking about the differences about buying from you and not buying from overseas. But I might swing to Nathanial again, because I think that LinkedIn could work.
How do you think LinkedIn could work, David? So is the plan to find another location, or is it move online completely? Or is it just...
No, we have a retail shop presence, which is more officey than lighting, because we deal with, we do have residential clients who are renovating or building new, then we deal with builders, electricians who respect their product, and we do have commercial jobs that we work with. So LinkedIn would be a good connection for us for the commercial space, either hospitals, showrooms for cars. We've just finished doing a garage roller door place that had bad lighting in their office, and they wanted to highlight their roller door things. And now they've got light, they're so happy.
So it sounds like you know what to do. Is there anything that...
I don't know how to fix my profile.
Check the box.
Yes, I did it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, just get profile optimised. It sounds like you're on the right track. Those types of professionals are very easy to hone in on LinkedIn, and not a lot of people in that sort of space do that. So we've had a lot of experience targeting similar sort of companies, and it does work very effective, especially hospitals and things. So geez, I mean, the value of the client's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And plus we've got the expertise when it comes down to the right type of lighting that you use for different types of patients and different times of the day.
My idea for LinkedIn was simpler than that. It's who is the customer working with prior to working with you? Because everyone in this room has customers, right? Now your customer has a checkbook and they write checks to other people other than you. The question is, who are those people prior to using you? Because that's the strategic partner you want to be chasing on LinkedIn. So if you can think through, if someone's buying lighting, what are they buying beforehand in a hospital? That's the partner. All right, so it might be buildings, it might be recruitment. It doesn't have to be someone who has anything to do with lighting.
I hadn't thought of that.
Hospital recruitment agency has hospitals as clients. You can connect with them on LinkedIn, so you can start relationships with strategic partners. And this is what I was alluding to before. We can all do this. Most people don't think it through, because they're looking for their end user customer.
Yeah.
Just add to that, going back to like giving before getting, you've got to make sure that if you do approach these people, you're not talking about what you're getting, like not thinking about saying, hey, you've got customers you can refer to me, maybe I can refer you something back. You say it the other way around, so I've got customers I want to refer to you, and you may not even mention that you get any back, because you need to put the contact in their perspective. If you spend the first partnership meeting asking them about what sort of referrals they want and how you can give them those referrals, that'll be a lot more effective than telling them about your business and how many leads you want and how you want them and all that kind of stuff, because they'll just ask. You don't need to sell anymore. Like, you just add value. Just keep adding value. And if they're not asking you about what you do, you haven't added enough value yet. Yeah, it's important to remember.
From a search perspective, as we were talking about earlier, just one thing that came up in our conversation was you were concerned that .net.au was affecting your rankings.
Yes.
Not an issue, and quite a few people, I think, over the years have thought exact match domain, so it might be lightingdesign.com.au is the way to go, or moorabbinlighting.com.au, sort of localised URLs. Not an issue. You know, if your site is optimised properly, it's the most important thing is the branding of it, and I think you've got your brand name as your URL, so yeah,
that's good.
Stick with it. You should also definitely do your local SEO, get that set up as well, so that Google My Business page and other local directory listings, and obviously optimising all of your products on your website. We actually have a lighting client, and it's a very intense lighting website, I would say. They actually have a very broad target, so it's sort of B2C and B2B. And that's another thing that's important to think from a search point of view as well. Even other businesses are searching for other businesses. So it's not all about B2C, it is about B2B as well. So yeah, I would definitely look at making sure that your website's optimised accordingly.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I hope that's answered some questions.
Yes, that's helpful.
All right,
Thank you.
give her a hand,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Have we got time for one more? Yes or no?
Yes.
Is this okay? I mean, is anyone doing anything out of this, or is this boring?
Yeah, I think it's good.
I think so.
Think it's good? Okay. So we've got a choice. We've got someone who does middleware. Not really sure what middleware is, but it's in the middle.
We need a pin up here.
And we've got another person who does retail, and we've got someone who actually does B2B. Let's have a vote. Who wants middleware? Two people. Who wants retail? One. And B2B. B2B. Adam, you're up.
Yeah.
Adam.
You guys know me well already.
So some of you might know Adam. He's one of our sponsors here today. But I'll get him to. You've got 60 seconds to explain what you do.
Make you look really attractive to your customers and lower your blood pressure. The way I make you look attractive is I bring all your social media and internet things into one place on a digital business card, which can be distributed all over the world, and connect you not only with your prospects and clients, but all the people that they know in their contacts list as well, so your marketing goes viral with a click off your digital business card to everybody all around the world. Makes you look amazingly attractive, lowers your blood pressure, keeps you healthy.
Okay, so I can interpret that for everyone else. You do digital business cards, which means you don't need to print them anymore. You can electronically send them. And I think one of the things you mentioned is that you can track who's opening your business card.
So we know, sorry David.
That's right.
So we know when it's opened, how often it's opened, how long it's open for, what buttons people press, what YouTubes they go and look at, what files they download, what messages they send you. Well, only if you give us permission, we know what messages they send you. I'm lucky enough to have a customer here and here. I'll get you soon. I have a big problem, and that is I'm hanging onto the neck of a unicorn. It's going to go bigger than Ben Hur if we work well together.
So what are you looking for? Like, what do you need out of today?
I want to know how to make my product stand out in the key demographics and chunk it out. So my 50 pluses, males, are my key customer right now. But I'm after the 18s to 35s because they're my future business owners who are going to buy 10,000 from me.
Okay, so look, can I start, please? We've heard a couple of people talk about the importance of your brand online, yeah? Everyone got that? And I think I heard it best. I was talking to a branding expert last week and he said, the internet does not favour generalists, which means if you want to get traffic on the internet, you have to stand for something. And the danger for most people is they're not sure what that something is, and what happens if it's the wrong thing, and what happens if someone doesn't like what I stand for. So there's a lot of fear around the repercussions of actually standing for one thing. But the thing the internet likes and loves, and Google loves, is that if you stand for something, you're easy to find because you stand for it. So when people say, I'm a jack of all trades on the internet, they go, not interested, we want specialists. So for me, branding online is more critical than it's ever been in history. And that just means you've got to actually ask the question, what am I good at, what do I stand for, and what am I willing to be accountable to? Ian said it well when he said, be awesome at what you do is the secret to success on SEO. Don't worry about manipulation of the SEO channel because Google's closing it all. What they're looking for is genuine content. They're looking for people who stand for something, and you've got this traffic from the world. So we've got this global market in front of us if we just stand for something. So I think you need to get either a character, a bit like that's Ian's alter ego over there, something that you stand for, that people, that you stand out from the crowd. And it doesn't have to be that you're the best in what you do, it just has to be different. So,
is it an app, or is it an app?
It's not an app.
Okay.
Not yet.
Who's the customer? Who pays for it?
Anybody I'm sitting in front of for more than 10 minutes gives me a credit card number and they're up and running within 24 hours. So at the moment, everybody I'm talking to is taking one off me. I'm selling 2 or 3 a day and as many appointments as I can conduct on my own. Pardon me?
You haven't got him yet.
That's my credit card at home.
No, yeah, thank you. Daniel's taking his credit card. So I've been out in the market connecting with all the business networking groups I possibly can, and every time I come away with orders and I'm building them at between 10 and 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's
it's a startup, it's innovative, it's a new thing, like it's definitely an area which will have innovation soon. So my view on it is, I think the customer is everyone, so like that shouldn't be a problem in getting in front of them. It sounds like you've got that sus. The question that I would ask is, are they the right people to be paying for the product? And I would compare it to Facebook or Tinder. Right? These are the fastest growing like startups that we've seen in the last 10 years, and when they started they didn't have a revenue model. I think you've got an opportunity to build a huge database of people, and I think they'll be quite active, which would be very attractive to anyone that's in marketing like myself or bigger brands and so on. So my only question is should it be free to get traction, gain market share globally before somebody else comes up with a solution for that same problem?
I would tend to agree, because if we look at all the social media channels, Google doesn't charge you to search. Airbnb, they charge the people who are renting the properties out. Uber charges the people who are renting the cars out. These people are getting the money from the people they're selling the advertising space to. The only thing they're really selling is their database. Google says, you should advertise with us because look how many people search. So here you are, you're in a situation where you can sort of grab this market. And I think what Nathaniel's saying is give it away. And what should happen is you'll make your money on the back end on advertising.
Can I say something?
Yep.
How about hooking in with Uber, who's got a huge computer network over in California?
Yep.
They're linking in with everyone in the world, and they've got the credit card getting swiped in the Uber vehicle.
Yep.
And you could charge a measly pittance for that information. It might be 2 cents a swipe. And give it away.
And this is the model for
everyone in the world.
Excellent.
Money.
So most people aren't thinking globally, because we sit there going, how do we access global? And the answer is turn your computer on. That's how you access global. There's a company called WhatsApp. We've all heard about it, right? $1 a year is how they sell their service. And they say $1 a year, no advertising. How do you make money? Well, 5 million users at $1 a year is $5 million. And that's the numbers they're talking about. I thought it was free too.
We've had a little bit of these discussions, and I've said similar things to you in our conversations. There's a book that everyone should read. It's called What Would Google Do? It's been around for a while now. Jeff Jarvis is the author. He's written books since. But essentially, the crux of it is free is a business model. Build the database and then figure out how to make money out of that database later. The only thing is the later part. How much later? I think you're doing the right thing as far as, thinking of it and having a revenue model up front. I think that's smart, because the issue with Facebook is they waited too long to figure out how to make money out of it, and ironically they actually had to get the woman from Google who basically drove the AdWords from the very beginning. They had to get her to figure out, if you want to boost a post, maybe we can charge people. That's where that came from. That was the lady from Google who sort of drove AdWords. So I think thinking about a revenue model at the start is fantastic. It's just a matter of what is that revenue model and who are the ones that you target with the revenue up front. As I said to you the other day, if you give it away to 5,000 people very quickly, if you feel like you can keep up with that demand, the referrals from that and the database you're building will have awesome value. I think there's a couple of objections that you will need to, as far as from a technology point of view, the demographic that you're targeting. I think you want to make sure that it's people who can just very, very quickly share the card. There's some of those sort of practical things that you need to think through. The 50 pluses, I've noticed with just some of my discussions, it's like, how do I share this thing? They might then. To me, that's not really your ideal target.
So there's a packet of 60,000 people in someone's downline in one prospect and 14,000 here and 1,400 over here. When I went into this meeting, he was talking about it being 2,600 people. And he said to me halfway through the 3 hours that we were together, and he's 72. He's 72. he said to me, everyone in my network needs this. Can we have these? Can we roll this out? So I know I've got stream, and that's cool. And I can see 80,000 now today, and but I'm still daily meeting with great people like my newest customer today, Eric Chan, who does presentation skills training, and here's my credit card for $240. So I've got
take their money. I'm not saying don't take people's money if they want to pay and they see the value. Take it. You obviously have people who will do that and want to do that. Just part of the mindset really is, you know, we've all seen when we've ego surfed. Okay, we've all seen a website we've never heard of come up on the first or second page with our name in it, and we've thought, how did they get my information? And then you go to the page, and it's all of your LinkedIn information populated in a website that you've never heard of before, and it says claim your profile. Have we seen this?
Yeah.
You could take that path, and that's how people do this and grow fast on a global scale. They'll use a database, and that database online is in the public domain. It's available. You can take that database. Obviously, you want to do it ethically, but that might be something that is a target for you for fast growth.
Yeah, thanks for that. The other book I'd recommend is The Lean Startup, if anyone hasn't read that one yet, because what we're talking about in this day and age is you can grow a business ridiculously quickly, right? We're talking about days, weeks, months, years, because you've got access to this unlimited database. And I think we overthink things too much sometimes. Some people are trying to get the product right before they go to market, and I think you need to get the market right before you build the product. And that's a hard thing to get people's heads around, because they're saying, how can I sell something that doesn't exist? But the answer is, I can build it if people pay for it first, because I have confidence in the market. Because the other way, I've seen too many businesses go broke, where they go, we've got this awesome product, we just need help with marketing it. And you say, well, how come you've got it? Oh, I think it's awesome, because I built it. But the reality is the market's not responding to the product, so sometimes we're stuck with it. And so the other way around is to find out what the market wants, sell it to them, and then go and build it. And that's the quickest way, I think, that we can grow. So give Adam a hand. We took a bit of a punt with these hot seats. We weren't sure what was going to happen, and we thought it could go either way. But I said these guys know enough that they can cover themselves. I hope it's been beneficial. So look, as we wrap up for the afternoon, I know it's been a long day for some of us. Please make sure you fill out the feedback form. There is a little section at the bottom, and one of the things, and it sort of follows the theme of today, is we want to know what you want to hear more about. Because we'll keep putting on these events if we can give people what they want. So if you've got anything in business that you want to learn more about, write it down in that suggested topics at the bottom. Our job is to go and find experts in those areas, bring them in, and make sure that we can deliver that information to you. So please fill out those feedback forms. They're very valuable to us. If you're interested in taking advantage of Nathaniel's offer, you need to go and see James up the back. If you would like to take advantage of Ian's offer of doing your website analysis, and I recommend you do it. We do use him for SEO for a reason. Tick that one. And obviously, if you want to talk a bit about how we can actually help you with your social selling map, tick that box as well. Other than that, I want to thank you for your time and concentration. And if you want to give these guys a hand, just to make sure they're happy. And obviously, Davies Collison Cave, the...
Yeah, what did you... And if you just want to talk to me instead of the lens, that'd be great.
Talk to you instead of the lens?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. What did you think of today?
Oh, it was a fantastic afternoon today. I've seen David Guest before here at the Sandringham Yacht Club present to business professionals, and he's a seasoned professional who really knows his knitting. I've seen him before as part of the Brighton, the Bayside Book Club, and he ran that, and he was fantastic there. So over a number of years, let's say 3 years, I've got to know David, and I'm a big fan. And this afternoon was fantastic. Each guest speaker was very professional, and with loads of information was provided this afternoon, so I'm really glad I came.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how about Nathaniel?
Nathaniel, each guest speaker, Nathaniel talking on
That's right, yeah.
LinkedIn. He was excellent. I mean, each guest speaker, each of the three guest speakers had a lot to contribute, and in a short amount of time, I learnt a lot from what they presented, and I'll go away. I've taken my notes. I'll go away and put that into practice in my business, and it was really worthwhile coming.
One more question for you, Sally. What kind of person or who would you recommend this for? Who do you think would get a
Who would I recommend this for? I think anyone in business who wants to achieve something for the business or gain inspirational points or be reminded of things that they already know. So I think anyone, I mean, even if you're not in business, you're an employee with a company who is looking to help that company along. There are lots of pointers for all sorts of people. So yeah, next time this is offered to anyone looking at this video, then you ought to go for it, because it's really well worth your time. A few hours of your day, and they're so crammed full of information you couldn't lose.
Beautiful.
All right.
Thanks very much. Yeah, go for it.
Hi Sam, I've just been at this presentation this afternoon and Nathaniel talking about LinkedIn, and it's really good to get some really clean, clear information, showing there's no mystery to it, just to make sure that you get it clean and clear. And I think what he offers as far as training, etc., to make it work for business and getting recommendations through LinkedIn, it seems there's a whole marketplace there we can get. It's just about understanding it and working with it. So thanks Nathaniel.
Who would you recommend him for, mate? Who do you think he is good for, so to speak? Like, what's his... Who needs him?
Nathaniel's business and teaching people about LinkedIn is really anybody who's doing business to business. If you work with him and what he can do and make sure you connect with your target marketplace, and he knows how to do that in LinkedIn, then you need him. You need him to help you go through and get through all the details of it and target it correctly. He's been there, done that.
Awesome. Final question.
I thought you meant.
How does he differ from other people of the same cloth?
I think Nathaniel has obviously had the experience and has got some great customers under his belt, and he can show that it's worked. He's not looking at all the froth and bubbles, he's looking at how to really work for business to business. It's just making it work. And that's what we want, business to business. You need the leads to come in, not just have a whole bunch of connections that you can't use. That's what it's about.
Beautiful, mate.
Okay.
I love your work, Val. Good on you, mate. Thanks, mate.
It's always worth helping. There's not many people do it.
Love it. Famous last words.